Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the District to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 13th day of November 2013 at the hour of 6 p.m. for consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the District on November 7th, 2013 at 2:30 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041, 551-050, and a copy furnished to the county clerk at Cameron County, Texas. The agenda is as follows. Item number 1, I call the meeting to order. There is a presence of a quorum. We go to item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, invitation to the audience for discussion. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board at this time? If not, we'll go to item 4. Consider and approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 23rd, 2013. You've had those minutes in your packet. If everyone has had an opportunity to read them, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Mr. Keplinger, second by Mr. Vela. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, consider and approve budget amendment to final budget for year ending September 30th, 2013. Mr. Gomez?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The budget amendment is being submitted. Normally, what happens is we close the year and the auditors come in within a month, and so when they go through and do journal entries, this is one of the journal entries that they normally do in the audit report. And so because the auditors are starting a month and a half later, we had the opportunity to go ahead and do this, and in order to have the revenue recognized and equal to the budget, we're doing this budget amendment at this point. Normally what happens is cycle 1 starts on the 10th of the month and ends on the 10th of the following month. And cycle 2 starts on the 20th of the month and ends on the 20th of the following month. Therefore, the bill for October, which is done much later in the month, as a matter of fact, the bill for cycle 1 is done on the 18th of October, and by that time it's kind of late for the board meeting, the last board meeting that we did the budget amendment. So this gives us the opportunity to go ahead and include the budget to equal to what is actually collected, since the auditors are coming in later than normal. And that's why I'm requesting that the budget for the revenue be increased so that it will equal what is being shown in the audit report.
Any questions for Mr. Gomez from the board? If not, entertain a motion to go ahead and approve this budget amendment request.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the budget amendment request.
Second. Motion by Mr. Vela, second by Mr. Keplinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Item 6, consider and approve disbursements. You've had an opportunity to review them, gentlemen. Are there any questions?
May I point something out at this point? Is that the VoIP telephone system, again, the bill was for $119. That is what replaced the AT&T. So that is $4,300 less than what it normally would have been with AT&T. Also, with AT&T, we are still in negotiations for the refund. They were trying to give us a refund of $6,200, but Larry Neblett has some information and send it back to them so that they can go ahead and look at it, and hopefully they'll redo that amount that they're supposed to refund us. So it's still in negotiations at this point.
Okay.
And everything's working well, no more drop calls here in the office or anything?
We still get some drop calls, as a matter of fact, but we're trying to work through those. I'm trying to get a log of those drop calls, the time and date and the number, so that I can give them to Larry, and he's going to investigate as to what might be causing that, whether it's actually the internet not having enough space in the internet for the call, or to see what it is exactly that's causing it. It's working pretty much like any cell phone, is what it amounts to. But we are getting drop calls that we shouldn't get. There's a lot of times we don't get drop calls in the cell phones unless we have the cheap phones that we had before.
Move to approve this first.
Motion, Mr. Gabbard, to approve. Second by Mr. Vela. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Gold. Item 7, General Manager's Report. Mr. Galvan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Garcia, members of the board, I wanted to bring an update. There's an RFP for the Port Isabel wastewater plant for reuse. That's so we can get going on the reuse water for at least Port Isabel, and then concentrate on utilizing that water at the reservoir and then diverting it, wherever.
Is it an RFP or an RFQ?
RFQ.
RFQ?
Yeah, it's qualifications
Yeah.
based.
And we're gonna be sending it to the reservoir, from there dispersing probably across the bridge to the Long Island and then the high school that way, and maybe all the way to reservoir number 3 at the water plant.
What's the deadline for getting qualifications back?
The deadline's December 13th, and so we're looking at trying to get the interview scheduled for the January 8th meeting.
Okay. I think Mr. Vela and myself are on the Professional Services Committee, so we would need to be involved with that.
Once we get everything in place, we'll let you guys know. It's just out right now, I just want to inform you.
Good.
And that's,
Yeah, we advertised November 7th.
We'll worry about the money later, right?
Yeah, well, at least we know we have enough for engineering, and right now there's 3 alternatives being proposed, and so there's going to be a preliminary phase that we'll present to the board, and then we'll understand what kind of budget we'll be committing to, and then go forward to the design phase.
Good. So you'll be blending the water with reservoir water and then treat it again?
One of the
Yeah.
options is that, to blend it, and there's a couple more,
Yeah, I mean,
directly
one-
to
If we don't have to blend it, that'd be even better.
Yeah, so, it just depends on what comes in once we get the prices, so. That's one of our, I guess, top priorities. Instead, before going into RO treatment, we're looking into several things on the RO that haven't been approved by TCQ. One of the discharge
Oh, yeah,
of
doing
the
seawater?
piloting, and then the intake. So, there's gonna be some more cost involved on that one. For some reason, it wasn't approved because we had problems with it. So we
No,
need to go back and research.
The pilot portion of that wasn't approved, or what?
We have.
Well, the outfall is still undetermined, because I mean, if we proceed to the next stage of seawater, we have to determine if we're gonna be able to use injection wells or disperse back to the Gulf.
But also the intake we had problems with.
Yeah.
And we never had gotten any approval of it because we had problems. Instead of sending 200 gallons a minute, we had like 40. Because it was sunk under the sand, so we were having problems with the sand. So I haven't seen that part approved. Have you, Charles?
No.
We haven't seen it, so we still need to work on that one.
Yeah, and especially here with the water reuse, I mean, we're looking at addressing salinity, and so that's gonna have some kind of concentrate disposal, but we already have an existing discharge here, and we'll probably stay within the existing stream, being that we're discharging to the seawater type, by the outlet right here. So that'll make a lot easier in case for an outfall.
And the other thing that we had in mind is the salt of the earth selling us the water. I know that there's a lot of O&M, operation and maintenance, involved in an RO system. Because we encountered all that at the pilot, where we have to be constantly changing parts. They get corroded or high pressure broken pipes, you know, they tend to break, especially with the salinity in between the little breaks, if they make them bigger. So if we go into that salt of the earth, I don't know, it would cut down a lot on our operation and maintenance costs, and you know, it's still, we'll save it for towards the end, you know, see what happens with the RO. But first of all, we're gonna look into the reuse and see what kind of water quality we're getting out, and then we can proceed with the rest. So just wanted to bring it up to the table. The other.
Thank you. Don't pay the ransom, I escaped.
The next thing that I have is next door here. We're bringing a lot of vehicles up here to the main office. You know, all the meeting has more employees coming over here. So we have vehicles in the back. We're going to try to fence in this area, and I had mentioned it before. Property next door, finish the fencing, and then leave the vehicles there with the camera pointing that way. That way we can have a, you know, and we've been cutting our employees' vehicles, taking them home. We're cutting that down. So we might have at least only like 3 or 4 emergency personnel staying with the vehicles.
On those, on that land that they're gonna fence, is there gonna be a lock or a regular gate? That
We're gonna put a regular gate where we can manually open it and close it, right?
Yeah, because you put an automatic one.
No, we don't plan to put automatic. We tend to have a lot of problems with them.
Yeah.
Manually, we just open and close.
Yeah.
Something.
So they'll be there all night. Whoever comes in the morning opens the gate and that's it.
Right. The other one is, we've been talking with IBC on the South Padre Island development, and we're still in process of meeting with, I believe Kevin, one of the representatives from Touchstone Golf. They're going to be managing the golf course for IBC, so they're going to be coming in next early part of next week, trying to see what we're going to be doing, because there's some accounts that are under the South Padre Island development that need to be changed. And Robert and I in meeting met today and trying to get a hold of Kevin, you know, because we called him a couple times, he didn't answer, but he was busy, he's been busy. So finally he called, and then we're going to meet with him next week, trying to figure out, see whose name the accounts are going to go under. But they assured us when I talked to Mr. Lee Reed, the one from IBC Bank, in charge of that they are going to be paying the bills. You know, they don't want to drop the ball on that one, but they want to continue paying the bills for that until they sell it completely. So once we meet with them, we'll take see who's going to be doing the account names, or what name it's going to be under, and we'll take care of that in-house. And then on that part, eventually, Magallanes and I have been talking about the agreements that fall afterwards, once the company takes over, whoever purchases it. You know, it might be 6 months according to IBC. Then we'll go back into agreements and make sure that we correct them and send them out again, so we can agree to a new contract.
Now, in that new agreement, we gotta make sure that we get 51% of what's right to us, not to them, you know. So something that will be on our side.
Yeah.
Right.
Will do, sir.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, y'all are still looking at maybe taking into consideration about the homeowners groups out there?
We've been checking all the pipelines out there. We did a research and GPS all the lines and the sizes, and we got to go back and get a couple more with our mapping department. He got a lot of good information and the valves, where they're located, and see what we can figure out on that part, because we still need to put them in our mapping system and you know, configure what meter sizes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're putting some work into that one also.
I really think that needs to be separated out with the homeowners groups and the golf course, because they're different.
Two different entities there.
Right.
You know, you got four or five homeowners groups, and then now you're gonna have a golf course.
Right.
So it's like
So
6
once
different
we
entities.
get together next week, we'll discuss all that and
Okay.
figure some more ways to tackle that one.
All right. At this time, I'd like to defer the chair back to Mr. Whitey Thomas, Vice Chairman. So item eight.
I'd like to apologize to everybody. I said I was gonna be here, and I got here late, and I don't like that at all.
Press your mic.
Okay.
Oh, wait, one more time.
Turned off. One more time.
Is it on?
It turned off.
There you go.
Once again, I'd like to apologize for everybody for being late.
Item 8.
Item number 8 already.
We're still on item number 8. Continue, sir.
Yeah, that's, the district's engineer report. Is that one?
All right. So yeah, I guess we'll start off with the update for this Laguna Vista sanitary sewer renewal. Safety Forum completed their review of the videos and requested their approval to proceed with these final quantities. And so at this point, we're looking at doing cured-in-place pipe for 2,234 feet of 8-inch pipe, 3,480 feet of 10-inch pipe, and 2,101 feet of 12-inch pipe, for a total length of 7,815 linear feet out there in the older section of Laguna Vista. And right now, basically the digging crew, they're probably going to get started before Christmas, and they're looking at the cured-in-place pipe crew mobilizing January 6th. So that's our schedule, and at this point, we're staying within the existing authorized amount. So we're looking like we're going to stay within our current contract amount to complete this work.
Is this the footage of pipe? This is what we talked about, correct? That we didn't have enough budget to do all of it, or?
Well, the thing is, we were talking about if the potential for because there's an allowance for the point repairs, and right now we're looking at doing 13 point repairs, but from what I'm seeing so far is I don't see us going over our current authorization from that buy-board proposal, but right now he's preparing the schedule of values to get that tied down more exact, but hopefully by next week I'll know what that is, but I don't anticipate a change order coming off for this project to get this amount done. All right, yeah, I guess let me keep going. Yeah, okay, so water plant 2, microfiltration. The building work's still in progress. The last two pending items are the air conditioning and the suspended ceilings. And so basically, the other items, that's going to be done in the near term, about a week or two. The other part of it is we need to get the electrical working clearance to really do a substantial completion, and we have the county inspection scheduled for this Friday, and then once that's done, then that'll release AEP to get scheduled to power up the building. So that the earliest that would be is another week, so we're talking November 22nd would be probably the earliest time frame for the electrical power to be turned on there for the building. And but at the same time, our process piping and pumps and related microfiltration installation still is ongoing, and they're coordinating with the building for penetrations and different related work for the two to cooperate with each other. And I mean, it seems running smooth. I mean, we're looking at the microfiltration contractor being finished by the end of December, and so we'll have the commissioning period start in January. And so we're still on schedule to be finished by April. So that's where we're at with water plant 2.
Carlos, are you all going to install an architectural plaque in the building or those improvements over there? You know how they put a plaque?
We should. Yeah, normally it says the board members, the engineer, the
Architect and all that.
the date, architect. We should.
General manager, attorney, secretary.
That'll work.
Just saying, because normally they do that when there's a building erected or.
I'll make sure that we get one.
Alright.
Cool. Yeah, and the other items, related to the water plant is that we're reviewing the submittals for the Clearwell baffles, and Lofton's still putting together submittals for the generator. But, it's coming together. I got the quotes from Hanson to do those taps for the chemical feed, and so I'll be presenting those at the December board meeting. For the concrete pressure pipe, since we're adding 3 taps to that pipe for the chemical feed extensions, I mean, those 3 taps all put together is about $3,600, and then we need
What size tap?
2 30-inch and then 1 36-inch with it's a
36-inch
well,
tap
well,
on a
it's a
36-inch line?
a 36-inch line, a 1-inch tap into a 36-inch line, and then a 2-inch tap and a 1-inch tap into a 30-inch line. And so those are the, and then we need to buy the diffuser assemblies, which is another 1,700. And so those should be the last 2 items coming to get this project 100%. So that's basically where we're at. I guess the other part of it would be, Norris Leal, their contract time with the construction phase. I mean, basically there's no budget in their contract to be on through this commissioning phase, and so I guess that'll come up for discussion in December as well. Figure out how we want to handle that situation, and we'll go from there. All right, so I guess going on to the next job, Quatis Pump Station and Pipeline Improvements. The pump station contractor, they finally got past the dewatering, and they think they poured a mud slab today, so they can get it stable to be able to pour the actual concrete slab in their plans. And so the cans are already on site, and so they're probably got past all this delay from the weather, and they're moving forward finally. And then Cornette's just chugging right along on the pipeline. They've already finished Buena Vista. They're heading west towards San Roman. They'll probably in about a month and a half, they'll be all the way to San Roman Road. And then after that point, they'll be on 2480 on the other side of 3069 heading towards the pump station. So we're moving pretty quick.
Good.
And then lift station 19, it's they got some electrical gear that's going to get shipped tomorrow. They're going to be working with the existing footprint. They're not making any deals with additional costs for, parking trailers or anything.
What came of that?
They just basically tried to change up their plan to stick within the temporary easement that they got, and they're not going to be trying to park a trailer out there on these 10 spaces, where the property managers giving them grief.
Well, I've seen a trailer out there in their parking lot.
Is that, well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, basically they told me that they've already settled it to try to just work within a smaller space without,
Well, Cunningham's trying to hustle us for another, $7,500?
Yeah, something like that. But I don't, that never panned out. Or
That's about a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I think we had some electrical gear getting delivered today, so they're gonna, keep going with temporary power. Well, still on schedule for Thanksgiving week, so they're gonna probably be starting their dewatering pretty soon out there. But that's basically where we're at with main projects. Any other questions before we wrap it up?
Do we look like we're gonna be okay on water plant 2 as final time-wise?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, up front, we always had the schedule to complete in April, and at
Hard
the
to
end of the
believe,
day,
isn't it?
we're pretty much going to be hitting it. So,
Okay.
so we can talk about a little bit more in detail in the closed session, but we'll go from there.
That conclude your report?
Yeah, that concludes the engineer's report.
Or is there any other questions on the district engineer's report? No questions on this. Let's go to item 9, the finance director's report.
Mr. Vice Chairman, what I was tempted to do here is give you all an overview of what's going on in the finance department, and so I did a short PowerPoint presentation here. The first item on bid is to show you we have 2 items that are on bid there at the website. We have one item that's an RFP, and the other one is an RFQ. The first item, fuel control system, is bid to be open on 10 a.m. of December 3rd, and it's for a K800 fuel control system with 1 fuel site controller and 2 fuel island terminals or equivalent. The second item is the valve project bid, the bid to open at 10 a.m. on December the 4th. Items include all-range dressers, couplings, mega lugs, start grip, resilient wedge gate, and ductile iron tee. On the next slide, you'll see the electricity providers. These are the providers that have contacted me at this point. The Government Land Office, which is using Cavallo for their contract, Reliant, Bid Texas Online, Electricity Texas, and Race Yes consultant firm. I believe those last 3 they didn't state, but they're consultant firms, number 3 and 4, as well as number 5. And on the next PowerPoint, on the next slide, you'll see the RFQ for the raw water and wastewater collection system with the attachments that are on
Question.
there. On
Question.
the second item, hold on. Yes, sir.
Back up to the electric, Hino didn't bid on it this
I didn't
time?
see, there.
They
yeah.
didn't. We contacted them. I sent them an RFP, but they didn't contact me. I was going to call them tomorrow. I am going to call them tomorrow to make sure.
Are we still open for bids?
Oh yes, the bids are not due until the 20th.
Okay.
They're scheduled to open on the 20th of November.
So when is the deadline to submit?
And
20th.
20th?
walk
Yes.
in and with your hand, you can lay it down.
And they're supposed to come in by 10 a.m. on the 20th, at which time we'll open the bids.
But between now and then, there might be a couple more.
Yeah. Yeah, we contacted 4 others, but we didn't get any response, so
Well, yeah.
Jane kept a list that we're going to contact again tomorrow to find out if they're either interested or not. Normally, these are the individuals that have contacted me and had indicated that they would submit a bid. On the next item is the financial system code conversion, and for this to take place, everyone has to be off the system. This is I had brought to the board one time several months ago that everybody needed to be off the system. They didn't know how long it was going to take, and as it turned out, it just took a little over 2 hours, and that was done on Monday during the holiday when everybody was off. And so the financial system is now set to where it recognizes October 1st as the beginning of the year, September 30th as the end of the year.
Awesome.
The next item is the audit update. I've been communicating with the auditors. They are scheduled to come in on November the 18th, and expected completion date is December the 9th. They think they may be able to finish it a little earlier than that, but we're leaving it for December the 9th, with an audit report to be submitted by January the 8th, which is the first board meeting of the year.
We're still using the same auditors?
Yes, sir.
How many years have they?
That was 3 years, and I think with an option for 1 year. The next is the disbursements report, and what I would plan to do for this, since there is no meeting for the 4th Wednesday of the month, I will email you the disbursements report, and if you have any questions, you can contact me or email me, and I'll be glad to get back to you on that.
Download a copy, I'll come in and get it off of Daisy.
Okay, we can do that.
That works.
On the next item is the website. I had the opportunity to look at one of the websites, and which was South Padre, because I had heard that they were putting our notices on their website, and I went in there to look, and I found out that they're doing it through social media. Somehow they have it linked to when we send out a notice, they link it into Facebook. And so what I started to look at was looking at the pictures. I like the colors and so on, the pictures from South Padre. So I started looking at the city of Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, East Rio Hondo, and ours. On the next slide, you can see this is the city of Port Isabel. It does not have any social media on it, but it does kind of catch your eye.
Pretty city hall, huh?
The next slide is the South Padre Island. This one does, as you can see, does have the social media right there, Facebook and Twitter, and they are able to link messages by logging into that. What they did is they created a Facebook webpage, and so they invite people to get onto the webpage so they can keep them up with what's going on in South Padre, along with our notices. And this is something that I've been discussing with Wendy, and we're looking at doing something like that with our webpage. The next web page is Laguna Vista, which also has the social media Twitter that they use for notices out there to send out messages to their customers, to whoever wants to look in and see what's going on in Laguna Vista. And the next one website is Israel Honda Water Supply, and you can barely see it, but they also have Facebook right there, and that's Yahoo social media that they have, so that they can communicate with their customers and so on. And then the last website is ours. As you can see, there's quite a bit of difference here. In talking to Wendy, what I asked her to see is if she can enlarge those pictures. She did have those pictures, so she can make those pictures a little bit larger in here. There's a lot of emphasis, by looking at this, there seems to be a lot of emphasis on the wording that you can barely see. So what I've asked her to do is change the color on the wording and make it, not necessarily change the font, but just set it to where it be on 4 or 5 lines instead of just 2, and make this picture bigger. And there are 4 pictures that are in our website. They alternate. So they scroll, and if we can have that, I think that'll make it more attractive. I mean,
I would like to see pictures of our actual facilities too. This building, maybe the new plant. Just.
Once they finish that building, we can take pictures later.
Well, is there a way
from the road, from the road shooting it would be good.
Is there a way for, like Mr. Cabrera was saying, there's a picture of, these pictures that we have on the wall, where they'll show it for 2 or 3 seconds and then move to the next one and the next one?
that's what this picture does. There's this picture, there's one of Laguna Vista, and there's one in Port Isabel, and I believe the other one, Laguna Heights.
It's not our facilities.
There's 4 pictures out there.
Yeah, it's not our facilities or anything.
No,
No.
just the
It's
whole
just an
area.
overview, right?
Just an area, aerial shots
Just
of,
like these. Those
yeah,
are there.
they're aerial shots.
Those
And
are yeah.
also, in doing that, in updating this, the website, I would like to go ahead and open an account, or not an account, it's just a site with Facebook, and she can link it to whatever we put on our webpage, and it can be kept up that way. So if we delete something, it'll be taken off of Facebook. This will, we can accomplish this also by letting the clients know, by inviting them to sign on to our website. So whenever they go on Facebook, if we have an outage, then they'll be able to see that right away without having to call in or be sent an email or.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, everybody's on Facebook, it seems like.
Yes.
Well, and if you're gonna close a section of part of the community, for repairs or something, it can go on there right away.
Right.
I know we're sending out emails, but there's not, how many people are on the email list?
We have a total of about 320 something. There's 157 in South Padre, and there's 80 plus, about 83 or so in Port Isabel, and Laguna Heights. There's only like a 20 something, and then Laguna Vista has another 40 or 50, and then of course the board members. We sent the emails to the persons of interest. There's 5 categories. The persons of interest that want to know what's happening in any of the areas, and then of course the board members, and then the Laguna Heights and Laguna Vista, South Padre, Port Isabel. But there are a lot of people that still don't get the message.
Not much.
So I'm hoping that if we can keep up, if we open a Facebook page and we publicizing that pretty much the same way South Padre is doing, people can get the messages. Any questions?
Questions? Okay. We're still under the finance director's report.
That
Back to the
concludes my
website.
report.
That was it.
Concludes his report on website. No other questions, we'll go to item 10, executive session, permitted by the Open Meeting Act, VTCA Government Code Section 551-001, ETSCQ, whatever that means, under Section 551-071, 1A, consultation with attorney, Section 551-072, deliberation about pending litigation, Section 551-074, personnel matters. Gentlemen, we're going into executive session.
You need a 5-minute break?
What?
A break? Or we going to the executive session?
No.
No?
Let's go, man.
It's on the list, we're going into executive session.
Turn the mics off, guys. Mics? Turn the mics off.
Take a 10-minute break.
We need to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to go into, executive
Make a motion, we go into executive session.
Make a motion.
Second. Any question? Question on the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion on the
Second.
floor, come out of executive session.
Motion made.
Motion made,
Robert, second.
I
second.
it.
So moved, we're out of executive session. Back to, out of executive session, consider action on executive session items if necessary.
No action.
No action.
No action to be taken at this time. Having no action at this time, I declare this meeting adjourned.
We'll make a motion.
I would take a motion on that.
You don't need a motion.
Second.